Yes, it's very low. I will increase it on my side.
I seem to be having some problems with my mic. I've been having issues with it for a long time. Sorry about that.
No, I think it's fine now. It sounded really weird. Maybe that was Discord.
How's it going so far?
I only died a few times.
Good stuff, eh?
No, but it's like, I mean, the difficulty. I mean, it's still very. I mean, I played like 2 hours now, and the difficulty is in the numbers. I mean, I did the redstone mine, and there are spawners, and then I had like triple spawners on top of each other. So you go in to destroy it, and it's like, bam, you're surrounded. Like, oh, okay.
Sometimes you get a little bit unlucky with the mob spawns.
Nice. Cool.
I think that kind of adds to the fun, though. You have to really take into consideration what happens when it happens.
I'm gonna lower this a bit. Do you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, sure. My name is Christian. I'm a level designer for Minecraft Dungeons, and we've been friends since, well, Future Games, when we studied together.
Yeah, we started game design a while back. Cool. Well, since I'm also level design, I have a lot of questions. But I figure if people have questions, they can just go ahead. But I have tons. So, I don't know, like I'm a huge fan of Minecraft, as many others. And for me, it's like really nice to play a new Minecraft game, but it's also an Unreal. It's like this weird, you know what I mean? Like it's a weird disconnect between like playing Minecraft and then like it's different engine. I don't know. Maybe that's just me, but
I mean, the first. Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead. That's fine.
Right. Well, the first iteration of Minecraft Dungeons was actually made in a modified version of Bedrock. Oh. So most of the levels are actually playable to some degree in that game as well. We actually used Bedrock as the level editor to create most of the rooms and areas in the game.
Oh.
And then we imported them into Unreal to beautify them up and add scripts and stuff to them.
Oh, interesting. So you didn't have to do blockouts in Unreal?
No, we made them in Minecraft.
Oh.
But we had a bunch of extra tools to it, so we could, for example, double click an area and that would just delete everything that was connected to that particular block. And we could just raise geometry with a single click and stuff. It's kind of like working with paint, but voxels instead of pixels.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, but that's very interesting because, I mean, I'd imagine it's easier to build environments, that way and like get a variety of blocks and whatnot. Else, Indian?
I think for this particular purpose, building a world that is like Minecraft, I think that actually works really well. When I started working at Mojang back in 2018, I was a bit worried about it because, building things in Minecraft seems like a much slower process than what I'm used to. But for the tools and purposes, I think it works just fine, and it's probably a really good decision, I think.
Yeah, it sounds like a really good idea, actually. Why not build it and so you get the feeling for it and actually get like the environments that make sense. So that's really cool. I'm a bit curious about like how. Okay, for the first question is how randomized is the game, like in terms of levels and layouts and stuff.
Usually there are certain rooms that will always be static in the levels, for example.
Start and exit.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. So this particular, well, we call it a room, but it doesn't really look like a room. When you open it in the editor, you will actually see it's like a square room, so it makes more sense to refer to it as such. But yeah, some of the rooms, like the start room and the end room, are usually persistent and have the same rotation.
Okay, interesting.
But there are other rooms, like this one that you're in right now, that is a bit more random. And what happens is basically the game picks rooms from a list that we have defined and created beforehand.
So like preset rooms, like Diablo style-ish?
Yeah, pretty much, and gives them a random rotation and connects them to a door that we have predefined in the rooms as well.
That was a new enemy, I noticed. Put up walls and something? I don't know.
Oh yeah, the name escapes me now for some reason.
Ah!
Jeez. Oh my god, are those enchanted cows?
Yeah, they are enchanted cows. That's the first time I see enchanted, like, NPCs and they're cows.
Oh wow.
But they're not attacking me, I guess, so I don't know.
Yeah, no, they're not a hostile mob.
Yeah. Well,
I'm not sure that is per design.
I'm sure this is a feature.
I'm gonna let the game designer speak for that.
It's an enchanted cow with burning, fast attacking region.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah,
I mean,
attacking very quickly.
If you go near him, maybe he will damage you.
Oh, maybe, yeah. Oh. Nope.
I think you have to step inside the circle.
Nope.
Nope.
No,
Nothing.
It's chilling.
Well, that's just.
Nice.
I mean, I think killing them would
Do I loot?
perhaps actually. Yeah, sometimes they drop things.
Oh.
So, if you're lucky, maybe they'll drop something more valuable.
It's emerald or diamonds.
It's all random though.
Nope. Don't think so. No. So what I noticed so far, I've been playing a bit more, over 2 hours roughly now. There are these. Well, early on, there were these like several side areas. The previous level I played was the redstone mine. I didn't really find much, but like, was the idea for this to be like players to? I mean, obviously you have the option, but it's like, is it more like the game shouldn't be played at a like too fast of a pace? If you know what I mean? Like you have these side areas, and the side areas are like huge. That's the first thing I noticed. Like they're absolutely enormous. And there's you have to backtrack a lot, and like it's the idea to like actually the players should take their time and not like go through the content quickly or oh shit.
It's a little bit of a mix. We try different things with different levels. Every level has their own little flair, so to speak. What the main idea was that we wanted to give players a reason to explore different areas that weren't really connected to the main path. And for some areas, that also means that you can find more treasures at the end of a side path. But again, that is also random. For example, this right here that you're in is a side path, and that urn that you just broke is also completely random. But there's a higher chance of them spawning in these areas specifically compared to the main path.
Right. So you will still find some in the main path, just not.
Yeah, but it's not quite as likely.
Yeah. Okay, I see. Oh shit! I forgot I changed my item.
And here we have. Oh my god, that is more than I.
That is a lot.
That's a lot of enemies.
Yeah. Oh my god. I don't know. I'm playing on the suggested difficulty or whatever, so it's like, I don't know.
I'm actually at fault here. I personally cranked up the amount of mobs present in this particular room, actually.
Oh. Well, that's
and it's because there is a chest in the middle of it.
Oh. It hasn't popped up yet.
That has a very high spawn chance.
We have a question in chat. You designed a tutorial level, right? I think you did, right?
I designed the first iteration of it, and then Pontus came around and redesigned it.
Oh, okay.
So the middle section where you walk by the river is almost completely the same as I designed it, and the area before then and afterwards is what Pontus made.
Okay. Oh, that's really cool.
So the layout is generally the same, and then Pontus just came in and he expanded it and basically just made it better.
Yeah, I'm also. Oh, nice. Yeah, I'm also a level designer, and I mean, it's. I think you would probably agree with me, but it's pretty much invaluable to have other designers look at your stuff. And like I made this, or I need help with this, and can you look at it and give me ideas, anything, and then.
Yeah.
I mean, it's.
Yeah. It's funny that you mention it because this particular level was also mainly created by Pontus, but after he had worked on it for a certain amount of time, he just came to me one day and was like, "Hey man, can you have a look at this? I'm just blind staring at this for too long now. Can you give me a hand here?" And in general, that's how we've been working for a lot of the time. That somebody starts a level, and somebody else comes in along the way and just adds something else to it, or adds a specific flair to it.
So yeah, sorry.
Some of the earlier levels that were created was created by Max, who moved on to a writer role.
Yeah, good old Max.
Yeah. And he basically created the base for what the level design would be afterwards. So some of the earlier levels, such as Pumpkin Pastures and Creeper Woods, were created by him. And then Pontus and I came along afterwards and added our own flair to it afterwards.
Yeah, so and like when you... Oh, yeah, sorry.
Yeah, no, it's just that they're very different now from what they used to be. But I think without Max's initial input, then I don't know what they would have been like, really.
Interesting. So, yeah, so with Max, with doing the writing, you had, when you made these areas and levels, you had like essentially lore, like history behind each area. So when you started making it, you would have like, okay, this is obviously what we want to tell in the story, in the level, you know.
I mean, Max is a huge lore nut. He loves lore and story. That's mainly why he moved on to a writer position. But that's also something, I believe you've already played the swamp level.
Yep.
That one level, the idea behind it is basically that there's a lot of ancient ruins from some past time, and I don't really want to step on any toes or anything, but I'm sure that Max has a very specific idea of what those ruins are from or for. And then the idea was that there's a bunch of witches that moved in and populated the area after that civilization was basically gone. So there's a lot of room to expand on that.
Yeah, I mean, I really like, so far I really like that each area has, you know, we know who the main bad guy is, but every single area so far has a purpose, you know, that serves, you know, like the swamp area and the witches, and you know, it makes sense. So that's really nice. I really like that. But I would like to, regarding level design, like from your personal opinion, what was the hardest thing to, like, when you approach like a new area in this game and you would make it, what was the hardest part, like, of that process?
Honestly, the hardest part is making sure that you can create an interesting area that is not obscured by other geometry, I think. This is honestly the hardest question to answer that I've ever gotten about the job.
Okay.
And I feel like every time someone asks this, I'm like, yeah, I should have prepared for this. But yeah, I think that's generally it. Just, you know, creating an area that has an interesting look to it without it obscuring too much. You have all these, here for example, you have all these bridges and stuff that could potentially obscure a lot of the player, and they still do to a certain degree, but it's very minimum. Oh, nice find.
Yeah, I'm trying to find everything. So yeah.
But I think it's very difficult to create something with a lot of verticality in it that still has a lot of interesting gameplay mechanics and does not obscure the player at the same time. And then just connect everything together with other rooms randomly. Because that's one of the issues that we ran into for specifically Fiery Forge, where there would sometimes be certain rooms where the height of the rooms varied so much, so some rooms would actually obscure other rooms in the foreground.
Interesting.
And we actually had to cut a few rooms specifically because of that. I think one of the rooms in the initial reveal trailer is actually not in the game because we had to cut it because it's just a huge staircase that would just make life difficult for everything.
It's really interesting. Yeah, I mean, it's a constant iterative process, you know, and level design is I find level design to have so many aspects to it that it's
Oh yeah.
you
absolutely.
never stop iterating. You know, it's always something.
No, I mean, and I remember that from my days of making levels for Unreal Tournament as well, that you were never really done with a level. At some point, you just felt like this is enough, and you just decided to move on. And now, when you work in the field as a professional, it's more like you have a deadline to meet, so you only work on it until you feel that all right, this is good enough, and then you move on to the next task.
Absolutely.
But in all honesty, I feel like I could probably polish each of these levels for
Forever.
at least another year
Yeah.
if I wanted to.
Yeah, I can relate. I think that's. I mean, I don't know about you, but I've always had this like very self-critical view. You know that like I make something, I'm like, okay, I'm happy with what I have, and then you go back the day after and you're like, what the hell was I thinking?
Oh yeah.
And I mean that might sound bad, but it's actually quite good. I found it to be really helpful when I went. Oh Jesus, what is this? What? Hello?
Those are some of my favorites, actually.
Damn. Rex.
Everyone's got the same reaction to them when they first pop up.
I mean, I ran into a random Enderman. I'm like, what? And then like another random dude, and yeah. I mean, I like that though. It's really nice.
I have a few special mobs who will show up every now and then. The Enderman and the Evoker are two of them. And yeah, interesting things happen when they come out to play.
So, as a level designer, I'm sure you have something you made that you're especially proud of. What would that be in this game?
You have not reached that level yet.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
So let's leave that be. But I think my favorite aspect of level design, especially for this game, is creating stuff that you can interact with in the environment. Specifically the traps in Desert Temple and stuff like that. And there is another such feature in one of the later levels that I will not spoil for you.
Oh, good. Some people love to spoil, so I appreciate it. We'll see how far I get today. I don't know, but yeah, I'm really liking it so far. I'm a huge fan of Minecraft and ARPG, so it's like a dream combo come true, kind of.
I think it works really well. This is one of my favorite rooms in the entire game, though, but it was not designed by me.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So that's how it is, I guess.
Interesting. Oh, yeah, there it is. I love the design of things in this game, like the keys and like I know when we watched the intro video, I think it was Killam said like, oh, the orb, and it's a cube, you know.
Oh yes.
Yeah. like no, but like I love that. It's really fun.
Yeah, I think it's great.
Oh, what?
Huh.
What? Oh, now I picked it up.
Interesting.
Do I have to right click? Oh, okay, that's weird.
No idea what happened there, but something happened.
Stop finding bugs. Features, sorry. Features, my bad.
I think you dropped the key.
Oh, yeah, I did. What? Where did it go?
He runs away from you.
Oh.
Yeah.
What? Hello. Okay. What?
Okay, interesting features we discovered here today.
Oh, do you drop it if you get hit? Is that how it works?
Yeah. Sometimes mobs can actually steal it away from you if they're able to attack you in the meantime.
Okay, I see. So I'm this type of gamer where if I get a big world or level, I always go the opposite direction. Yeah. In this game you have the waypoint like this way, I'm like, nope. I'm gonna go over here.
Yeah. You always want to explore the alternative route first, right? So
Yeah,
here's why I think this particular room is great, because you're initially guided towards the Golden Gate, and you can see the other key from that plateau over there. But when you try to reach it, you encounter another gate. So what you do? Well, you basically just trail that road back, and you just go back and back and back and run into more and more problems along the way, until eventually you can solve one of them, and then you move back from there on. And it's just the way that is designed is just very beautiful to me.
I mean, I always like having multiple options, and you know, I want to have that. Oh, there you go. But then, like in some games where I get multiple options, I almost get a bit annoyed, right? Because I'm like,
Yeah,
especially in games that don't tell you which, when it's obvious which direction it is. So I'm like, oh, I'm gonna have 4 different options. I hope I picked the wrong one, you know, so I can,
Yeah.
Yeah. Come back.
There you go.
I forget it keeps running away.
Yeah, there are some games that I feel that I just want a very focused and linear experience with, and those that don't offer that focus and linear experience, you want to be sure of which path is the right one, so you can actually go out and explore without worrying that you're triggering a cutscene or gating yourself from exploring backwards or backtracking.
Did you ever, or like, did the team ever have like a worry that, you know, having these, I mean, these waypoints like ruin the game? You know what I mean? Like, it's like, oh, this is the way.
Oh, absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. It was a big discussion topic for a long time. Actually, I was heavily against them for a long time as well.
Okay.
But we kind of discovered that they were necessary when we removed them. Because we found out that even with a map, sometimes players would just be led astray because they followed enemy mobs around for so long that the map just got so sprawling that you lost yourself.
Yeah, I mean, I would probably have the same opinion, but at the same time, now that I'm playing this, I'm like, it's nice to know that this is the way, so I can go the other way. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah. No, I like that though. It's nice.
Initially, it was sort of a emergency solution because in the earlier builds we didn't have the map. I think the map was something that we got into the game like a year ago or so. Don't quote me on that. I shouldn't have said that. Anyway, anyway, so back then we had the waypoint that guided you around, and that was your sole way of knowing which way to go, basically. And some of the levels were extremely confusing, even with it. The first iteration of Soggy Swamp was not great. It was very messy, and you might have noticed when you played through it that it was actually very linear compared to a lot of the other levels. It didn't have a lot of side paths.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it felt quite linear. Yeah, exactly. But also another thing I noticed was that was the one level so far where I kind of got stuck on like these random things. I don't know if I couldn't. Sometimes I couldn't really tell. Like I would, like on the map, I would like run here, but then I would run into like something that blocked, you know, where like, so I had like this low wall that's not on the map. So I like, you know, it is. I found that was like the one level that I felt where I would run into random things that hindered my movement. You know?
I haven't really thought about it, but then again, I've played this game so much during development, so I'm not really one to comment on it.
Fair enough. Yeah. No, that's where I noticed it the most.
I think one thing to notice is that the map itself, it accurately portrays things that are about 3 blocks in size. So smaller areas like walls or fences don't really show up accurately on the map all the times. That might be it also.
If anyone in chat has questions, you go ahead. We have Christian here, the one of the level designers. How many were you on this this project?
At most, we were 3, and that was back in well, that was not too long ago actually that we got our 3rd level designer. But initially, when I first joined the project, that was because Max was moving on to a writer position, and back then he was the only level designer, and I was the only one to replace him. And then several months later, we also got Pontus, and now back in October, Laura also joined the team.
Okay.
But we all have our sort of specific areas that we specialize in. Pontus is a little bit of, I mean, he knows a lot of 3D and pixel art, where I also try to sort of step into that world and do some modeling in pixel art, but I'm not nearly as good as him. And Laura is also focusing more on game design specifically than level design, but she's also able to help out when there's need to be.
Yeah, it's real nice. No, I like that. Like, it's with the team that I'm with currently. Like, we have those areas that we feel more comfortable in and can, really work well together, which is really nice. I've noticed, first of all, my wolf has turned into a hedgehog because he's got arrows everywhere.
Well, have I missed a wolf who found a porcupine?
Yeah. Another thing, my movement speed artifact is on infinite cooldown, I think. Not sure what that is. I can't use it anymore. So I guess I'll remove it. I can't remove it. That's weird. Yeah. Okay. Not sure what's going on.
There.
Now I broke my other artifact. No, wait, here it is.
Oh,
no, wait.
I think you just need to wait for it to cool down.
But I only have one artifact slot, so this is strange. I'm sure that's a feature.
But if you exit the screen,
okay,
there
now I have.
Okay, sometimes it's on cooldown when you change your inventory. If it was previously on cooldown, I think it needs to cool down before it can actually equip a new item.
Yeah, I can't equip this in my third artifact slot, so...
Not sure what's going on with the third slot, to be honest.
It's a feature, okay. Nice. I'll probably have to restart the game after this mission or something.
Well, fortunately, we are just at the end.
Yeah, I noticed. Oh yeah, what's your... Chat asks what your favorite artifact skill thing is.
Who knows what truths and pleasures await you inside?
It's a spoiler.
For testing purposes, it's actually the boots of speed, because they help you to move along faster. But then I also realized that, hey, we have a command for this. So I stopped using the boots and actually used console commands for it.
Now it works.
Although I think I'm quite fond of not artifacts per se, but the burning trail. I'm quite fond of.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah.
And combine that with an item that actually gives you a brief movement boost when you roll.
I believe. Do you take damage if you go into your own trail of fire?
No.
Oh.
Should be fine.
Okay. Good.
Something changed over the course of the last few months.
Okay. Oh yeah, another thing I wanted to ask regarding the guidance and stuff. Like, there's no minimap in the game. Did you? I mean, I assume you guys played around with a minimap at some point, or was that like ever an option or a thought?
Not really. I think everyone was sort of in agreement that we wanted the overlay map that appears when you press tab. A lot of Diablo 2 fans on the team, so that's pretty much where the idea sprang up from, I believe.
Okay, that's interesting. Someone's also a huge fan of, I don't know, Gaben or, I don't know, CSGO loot box or something. No, I like these random. No, I think it's. I mean, I think it's fun RNG. You know, like I can hopefully get something good. I mean, I'm still early in the game, so I'm gonna keep replacing a lot of stuff anyway. So.
I feel that it's usually not worth keeping old gear in general. That is my personal belief, at least.
Yeah,
but I mean, it also depends on what kind of gear it is. Sometimes you find something that you might want to try, but you're not sure if you want to use it, and sometimes you switch off a favorite item and you don't want to get rid of it quite yet, so you keep it. But every time you salvage an item, you get all your enchantment points back. So yeah, that's worth to keep in mind.
Yeah, and that's I noticed that quite early on. Like, oh, this, and that's the thing. Like, I wanted to. I mean, it won't make sense early on, but I wanted to keep this item because it had like interesting enchantments, and then I'm like, well, I kind of need those points in my new weapon, so yeah, it's gone. That's fine. Let's see, what is this? So another question. from chat is, let's see. He's curious whether any of the usual Minecraft verbs were ever considered for the game, like building, digging, or was it always focused on action RPG elements?
I joined the creating process fairly late.
Okay.
But as far as I know, it was never in the plans to actually have any mining or such in the game at all. Crafting was considered, but we were also a very small team in the beginning, so there was only so much we could do, and therefore we decided that we wanted to make it a very focused experience and focus on a single thing rather than branching out too much.
Yeah, absolutely. Keep the scope small, you know, make it really nice.
Thought it would be kind of a funny idea if the story was that the Orb of Dominance actually made all the blocks in the Minecraft world get stuck, and that was what you were trying to undo, so that you could actually start to move things around again.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Oh, interesting.
I think Max or any of the other writers were too big fans of that, though.
Oh man. Oh, that's cool. I mean, I'm really enjoying it so far. It's yeah, I'm always like, there are a few quality of life changes that I like to see in the game, but I mean, there are no really major things so far. I'm really liking it.
I think in general, I'm really happy with what we put out.
Yeah, I mean, it's very enjoyable, and I mean, this is, I've seen other people critique the game even before it's out. Was surprised. You know, they watch other people play it and they're like, they always ask, do you like it? It's like, yeah. Well, if you watch Lyric's played this since he got access. He's been addicted to it, and I mean, he was very late game when I last checked, and he's having a lot of fun. He's like level 60 plus like yesterday, and like a lot of people are like, oh, you know, is it good? Is it better than, you know, this ARPG? And like, I feel like a lot of people don't realize that this game, you know, it's supposed to cater to, I mean, it's Minecraft, it should cater to a lot of people and like a broad audience, you know. But yeah, I like that it's still, you can, it looks like I haven't gone there, but it looks like you have like a really nice end game. You have, you know, the challenge and the loot and everything. So I think, you know, it feels like it is really designed for everyone.
Yeah. One of the goals that we really set out to achieve is just that anyone could just pick up a controller, play and enjoy it, and without too much learning curve, really. And it's definitely much more simpler than games such as Path of Exiles and similar games. But I think that is also, in a way, the strength of the game.
Absolutely.
There's a lot of people who I think will be able to play this with their children or parents and brothers and sisters. And I mean, it's catered to a much more casual audience, if that's what you call it.
Yeah, but I mean, that's fine. I mean, I expect that from a Minecraft game. It's not a bad thing, right?
Not necessarily.
No, not in this case. Let's see, we have more questions from people in chat. Has the team thought anything about future speedrunners? Have you had anyone in team do speedruns?
I'm not entirely sure how far I can get into this.
Okay, yeah.
But we have a few people who have. I mean, it's one of the things that David Mishagen, our producer, basically told us that, well, you have to play through the levels as fast as possible and see how long it takes.
Oh.
And well, if you're really fast and you play on a simple, easy difficulty, you can beat some of the levels in a couple of minutes. So it can be done very, very quickly. Granted, that was a long time ago, and I think that was before some of the bosses were actually implemented.
Oh, okay, I see.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can just blaze through the levels if you have the capability to do so.
Only one village remains unspoiled.
But we are aware that some people do want to speedrun the game, and we have kept that in mind designing it.
Is there anything specific, or you could think of or say, or it's like a general thing?
I'd rather not say too much.
Yeah, no, yeah, it's fine. It's fine. No, I'm just curious.
But we wanted to make sure that, I mean, the levels are random, of course, so there's only so much you can do. But we wanted to make sure all the objectives weren't totally different, so that you would sometimes, you know, get on objectives like collect 40 apples or whatever, the other one just one guy. So we want to make sure that the objectives and such at least have the same length to them, so that there's no huge variety.
Cool.
There are some levels, slight variation of objectives depending on what kinds of tiles and rooms are generated, but it's not going to make that much of a difference.
Interesting. Yeah. Have you ever? So I know you. Oh, sorry. As you said, you joined late in development, but so when I started playing this game, and when I first got this evocation robe, I immediately started thinking, oh, spells. Like, was that ever like a thing? Like, you talk about possible? I mean, it's not very Minecrafty, but you know, like that's what it felt like when I saw this robe. You know.
The enchantment system was implemented very early. It's always for as long as I've been with the company, and I don't think there was ever a plan to have different classes or anything like that. We always wanted to have sort of a fluid system so that players could play their own way.
But kind of like I don't know, a staff or a wand weapon or something.
Different kinds of weapons are in the game, and they have different kinds of attacks. But we didn't really want to tie specific spells necessarily to them. I mean, we have certain bows that launch different kinds of projectiles. There are bows that launch bombs out of arrows, for example.
Yeah, that's really nice. I like that one.
I have a fun story behind those, actually.
Oh, okay.
But in general, I mean, the gameplay is not going to be that much different depending on which weapon you have. It's always going to be, you have a close combat weapon, you also have a ranged weapon, and 3 artifacts that you can use.
It's just I love no matter what game I play, I always like casting fire spells. If I would be able to, I like seeing fireballs and stuff.
We had an earlier iteration of the fireworks arrow that was basically just a reskinned creeper explosion. So when it blew up, it just looked like a creep blowing up, basically. And instead of being an item, there were stuff that you found in the game world, like a strength potion or such. And when you picked it up, you got 5 explosive arrows instead. But they were very unbalanced at that point, and you found so many that you never actually ran out of them, so you could just run around and spam these explosive arrows all over the place. It felt like, you know, you were playing Quake or something and grabbed the rocket launcher and could just obliterate everything. It was so fun.
Oh man.
Obviously very unbalanced, so we had to remove that and work with something else.
Well, unbalanced, imbalanced or overpowered things are, you know, some people love it. And explosions are always fun, in the moderation.
Well, the way we balance it is we turn it into an artifact, basically, and to make it a bit more fun, we actually upped the explosion radius, so it's more powerful now than it was back then. Only you don't have quite as many of them.
Okay, that's cool. Yeah, I really like the firework artifact.
It's probably one of my favorite items that I always play with, actually.
Yeah, I'm not using it now because I got this weird cube, and I'm like, what does it do? Oh, laser beam. It's like, okay, well then.
Pretty good.
Yeah, but I hope I get to find a better fireworks arrow. It's very nice. So
you can find some later down the line that have a cooldown to them.
Oh my god. God damn. Well, another thing I have to say I really like about this game is, while I'm dying to this dude, I like the fact you can play a local co-op. I feel like that's something in general that's just, you know, it's not very common anymore. You know,
well,
that's
we really want that, and I think that's one of the stronger points of the game in general. A bit different from, because when you play a co-op online versus co-op locally, in co-op online you can just go wherever you. No real. Oh, those are fun.
Okay, he died. Okay, oof. Double damage. Oof.
Ran into 3 enchanted creepers with bonus speed and blazing trail. Those are fun.
Bonus speed sounds horrible.
Oh, there was no escaping them.
Yeah. You gotta use the dodge iframes that are totally in the game, right?
I don't think we actually have iframes.
Oh my god, this enemy. Oh. Damn. Stupid walls.
I think they're great.
Oh man. Here we go. What is this?
It's a bit of a different area.
Oh, another fight.
Yep.
The Illager. Today I learned what an Illager is. I had no idea, actually. I looked it up and I'm like, oh, so that's what that is, huh?
Before I didn't know that either before I actually started working on this.
Yeah, I know villagers because I tend to sound, when I play puzzle games, I tend to sound like a villager when I'm thinking really hard and I don't realize it. So I make that noise that they do. It's fun. Oh, nice. So is it, I noticed like early on in the earlier levels, there were like a lot of side areas and stuff. Like, are there more later on, or like what's, like how does it work? Because I spent a lot of time in the side areas earlier. Now I haven't really seen many.
There will be.
Alright.
But like I said, it differs from level to level. Some levels, did you find, I don't think it's much of a secret to say that there are secret levels.
Yeah.
So there are multiple.
It's gotta be cow.
Yeah, sure, go ahead. But there are multiple side levels and bonus levels that you can find. And yeah, I think we poured some of the side areas into some of those side levels rather than adding them in the middle of a general level instead.
Yeah, because I found the crypt and then I unlocked it and then I could like pick it from the map. Is that how they work, where you have to find them? Interesting.
So you basically find a parchment somewhere in the game world, usually in a hidden dungeon, and after you pick it up, you can access it from the main map.
Okay. Evoker, huh? That didn't do much damage, but that's fine. Yeah, I met this guy before.
Yeah, these are our special event mobs that are sort of like mini bosses that appear a little now and then. And if you are fortunate, you can meet them in a combination with some enemies as well to make them extra tough.
Oh god. Those are, oh, explodes. Oh. I haven't been around those totems enough to know what they do, but apparently explode.
Two kinds, those that block you and those that blow up.
Ooh. Aw. I want to exit or enter this house. That looks nice.
You could actually enter those for a while. It was more of a bug.
Oh, okay.
You just stepped through the walls and then you fell through the world. Yeah, pretty.
So how, like, from a level design perspective, how does it work with like spawning enemies? Do you have a system that spawns them, or do you have to manually place stuff, or how does it work?
We manually place various and define that here enemies might spawn, and we have a text file that we define what kinds of enemies spawn in certain areas of the level and the amount of them. But it's also catered to take into consideration the size of the room itself that they spawn in, and it's also not always for certain which mob it will be. It's just it's usually randomized from a list of mobs that we have predefined.
Okay. I love the ones that running on chicken.
It's
It's ridiculous, but I like it. Oh.
Time to add some really silly mobs into the game.
Oh, there we go. Side area. Speaking of. Smaller one.
Some of these areas spawn probably well, some of them are predetermined.
Oh.
I think.
Nope. Okay, nothing here. Let's see. Oh man. Okay.
Because it's a bit random, sometimes you get unlucky and there's very little loot that spawns.
Oh. That's fine. You know, I'll get plenty of loot eventually. Oh, nice. Oh my god, now I wish I had my fireworks. Just line them up. What the hell is that? What?
I'm waiting for that one to appear.
Oh my god, that is ridiculous.
Commented the chicken jockey, I knew you were going to love that.
Oh man. I love how silly this game is.
That's one of our programmers decided to add that one in for a joke, basically. And everyone liked it. Kept it.
Was he disappointed, or did he like it?
He liked it. He was, I think, was happy that we kept it.
Ah. You know, you gotta try silly stuff now and then. Nice.
There's definitely a strength in being such a small indie team, because you have the ability sometimes to add your small personal touches to things that are still able to add very much to the game experience itself.
Yeah, because you're quite a small team, right? Like how many? 20, 25 maybe?
I think we're 25 now, but most of the time that I worked here, we were around 17.
Okay. But that's the team here at Mojang Studios. Because I saw there's another one called Double 11, right? I believe?
They helped with the totally not announced DLC that leaked some very early on.
Wait, have it leaked? Has it?
We had data miners who mined additional stuff, like I think that the entire maps for the DLC have been leaked online.
Oh.
I saw them a long time ago, actually. Okay. Some of the files were included in the beta, so data miners basically
data miners.
Yeah.
Don't you love them? We love them, right?
In my existence.
Yeah.
They're so good. I mean, I've seen videos of YouTube, and I get why people get excited about it. They find these. I'm like, no! Let people find them in the levels. What are you doing?
Yeah, I agree. Not a huge fan, but
I feel like that's kind of where players and designers sort of come to a head-to-head, where players want to find out as much as possible, and designers just want to keep things secret for as long as possible.
Oh yeah, absolutely, definitely. I mean, one of my favorite moments. I recently went back and rewatched the announcement of World of Warcraft Shadowlands from BlizzCon. And one of my favorite things is when Ian talks about, what might happen in the future with the lore, and it's like all of it is a reference to data mining, you know, and like how much he hates it, and I'm like, oh, I love this. It's amazing.
And the villagers of the pumpkin pastures go on to fight
I was
another
never
day.
into World of Warcraft much myself, but I mean, everyone I know played it at some point, beside my parents, basically. And I remember watching a video with a friend who I believe is actually in chat right now.
Hello, friend.
And he basically showed a video of somebody who breached and entered a inaccessible area.
Yeah.
And in that area was basically a partially finished DLC. I think it was like Wrath of the Lich King or something.
Oh.
And that was 2004, 2005, I think. So it was way before it was actually released. And there were all these untextured areas and hills or instances that they had just stored away somewhere.
Yeah.
And I can just imagine the designers going, "Oh, damn it!"
Dope. Oh, Dopefish. Oh, I know Dopefish. It needs to be everywhere. Yeah, that's I don't know. It's very interesting, the whole data mining debacle in the gaming industry. But I can understand it, but I don't like it. Like, it's also like spoiling me as a player. You know, that's.
I think.
Yeah.
I have mixed feelings about it. I mean, I think if people want to be spoiled, it's basically up to themselves.
Yeah.
Whether they see it or not. But as a designer, you also need to remember that, well, sure, this is your work, and you have a personal connection to it, but you are doing it for the players at the same time. So you need to keep. Well, if they want to go ahead and be spoiled, then honestly, I don't see why we should stop them.
No, definitely. It's another. It's also like this whole. It's been a lot of discussion regarding, like, as a developer, you shouldn't be afraid of having, you know, players playing the game the way they want to play the game. You know, which has been a discussion lately. It's been very interesting to follow in regards to World of Warcraft Shadowlands specifically. It's very interesting.
I'm gonna be honest, I don't follow World of Warcraft.
No, that's fine. It's just, yeah, it's okay. It's been one of the funniest things getting into my new career. In optimal situations, my work will never be used. Yeah, and I think that's everyone who works in games realized that early on as well. It's like, you know, this thing that we're working hard on might just not make it, and that's fine. Yeah. That's perfectly okay.
I read a post on Twitter the other day.
Fiery Forge, you talked about this one, sorry.
Was this previously?
Let's see what it is. Lava. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, there was some an artist who I don't remember what movie they worked on, but they made this
the Fiery Forge.
Big still image that was supposed to be used in the background of a shot, two shots, I believe, and they worked on it for like a month or two, I think.
Oh wow!
And in the end, the whole scene was just scrapped from the movie altogether. And I mean, that's gotta be so painful.
Yeah, definitely. I can only imagine.
Game. I mean, there is definitely some cut content over here and there.
Yeah.
But I never felt like it was a hugely painful process to cut things, because we ourselves knew beforehand that this might not make it into the game because it's either they're risky or we won't have time to balance it, etc.
Yeah, and I mean, you should go in thinking this will make it into the game, and if it does, and if not, then that's fine. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I mean, you never go in.
No.
Idea that alright, this might not make into the game, but it's fun to create. It's
yeah.
I mean, it's still natural, and your company expects to make money out of it. So, not doing the job, that is no.
I like this area. It has snow and stuff. It's nice. It looks different.
Very different from the rest of the game.
Yeah, it's really nice.
There was some snow in the first iteration of the lobby, but it's no longer there. the first lobby iteration was very large and a little bit unfocused, maybe.
So, one thing I noticed in the redstone mines, which I really like, you had these environmental hazards. So I hope I find more of them, because there's lava around here. So you know.
That is something that I pushed hard for, actually.
Wow.
I would like to say that is one of my bigger contributions to the game. Perhaps the mining carts and some things you will encounter a little bit later.
Yeah.
Love it when specific spin to the levels.
Yeah, I mean, it really adds something unique, and I don't know, I've always liked playing games with environmental hazards, because it, you know, sure, this game is all about, well, as an example, this game is all about running around, killing a bunch of enemies, and that's where your focus is, but having that extra spice on the level, and then have it hit you in the back, you're like, oh yeah, crap, there are minecarts here. It's like, oh, right, that makes sense. Should probably avoid them.
One of the things that I enjoyed in games is, you know, pushing enemies over steep ledges, pushing them to their deaths, basically. So when I designed the minecarts and the traps and such, I really wanted them to affect the enemy mobs as much as the player, because you get some sort of grim satisfaction out of watching an enemy step into this trap and just get cut in half.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like when you bait a creeper to explode and then it kills all the enemies around it. You know?
There's a bizarre satisfaction to that I really can't just explain.
A lot of TNT.
You can actually stack multiple of those on top of each other if you find more of them.
Yeah, I found at most I had 2 so far, and I didn't expect to throw all of them at once, but I sure did. So
a bit of a thing, but whoa, that was a good throw.
Yeah, I expected a bunch of enemies in that big room over there. Oh my god, that arrow through my head. Oh my god, stop it! Yeah, I wonder if I used to. I had a bow that made my pet focus the one I was shooting. Was this that one? No, that was the other one. Oh jeez.
I think this is one of the levels that Max Pontus and I had the biggest collaboration on, actually.
Oh, okay.
As in, we can't really. There's none of us who can really say that this is the level that I worked the most on. It's. I think it's pretty fairly evenly split between the 3 of us.
Oh, that's cool. I mean, I've been looking forward to this game for quite some time. You probably noticed.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry about that. I'm very excited for it.
I'm happy.
Jesus.
Have you been looking forward to it?
God, dude, chill, man. Where
Sometimes you
oh, there
deal with the geomancers and multiple of them show up at the same time.
God, enchanted as well. Oh yeah, there's several here.
So I think there's a limit of 2 or 3 per room, but you may have been here since I think that you were just about to enter another room, and in the other room, at the edge of it, another spawned. At least it looked like that.
Someone made a heart shape here. I can see that. That was intentional, I swear. That heart shape right there. Oh god.
Well, you're gonna have to bring that up. Design this through.
Oh yeah, I love these loot pigs, man. I've always loved loot goblins in games. It's really cool.
Yeah. I think it was everyone were happy when they were introducing the game.
Well, is it really? I like the environment. It's so different. I love it.
Yeah. It was a bit tricky to differentiate this one between redstone mines, so we really pushed for more open areas and a lot more stone architecture.
Yeah, I mean, there's so much to work with in Minecraft. You know. Now I'm just waiting for that Nether DLC, you know.
Sorry, I didn't hear the entire sentence. heard another DLC, but didn't hear what you said.
No, it's like there's so much stuff you can work with from Minecraft, like environments and stuff. So it's I really like this. It looks cool. Are there any? I haven't actually checked this, but will players be able to like mod the game in any way? Like,
it's been talked about, but unfortunately, I don't think I can comment on that right now.
Yeah, that's fair.
It's been discussed, and there are certain hurdles that we have encountered, but I don't know. It's
hopefully we'll see.
I can't really answer that right now,
yeah.
Unfortunately.
No, that's fine. Ooh, overload the course.
We have seen is, however, that there are actual modders who have managed to import their own geometry into the game. And
this game? Really? Oh shit.
They actually managed to do that with the beta, which is super impressive. I mean, I don't want to confirm or deny anything. Anything is possible, but it's nothing that we have confirmed yet.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean that's something that always amazed me. Is the like very passionate players will always find a way. It's quite amazing.
I mean, release a game and the community will find this one feature and make it 100 times more polished, basically. The case with any game.
Yeah. I will never forget. I used to play a lot of Battlefield 2, and I remember the community for that was amazing, and there were no tools for it. But people still made mods and made their own stuff, which is really cool. God damn. This place is something else.
Yeah, those golems are a bit of a pain.
Let's use my laser beam. I think I tickled him, I'm not sure.
Some decent damage,
actually. My own rapid fire. Oh god. Damn.
Yeah.
Machine gun bow. Oh no.
It eats. No. Yeah, it's really effective. I think it was stuck in the spider web itself. Was stuck to the ground.
Yeah. Oh god. Jeez. Can these things go away?
I'll go.
Go there. Thank you. Okay. Yeah, my wolf is having a bad day though. That's for sure. Oh, there we go. Stack them.
Oh, 3 on top.
Now, what I want to know is how many can you stack, and can I one-shot a boss with that?
I believe it's 3, and no.
Oh.
Sorry.
Oh yeah, fair enough. Oh yeah, it is. Oh man.
Less fire damage, then maybe. I actually don't know which damage type these are.
That is cool. I like the variety of weapons, it's really nice. Do you have any favorite weapons? Like the daggers were pretty sweet with the enchantments I had.
Yeah, I think actually daggers are pretty nice. I also like I like the axe because it has this spin attack that's really effective against mobs.
True, yeah. Oh. See, environmental. It's good stuff.
Those are Pontus's work though. This entire app was designed by him.
Yeah, it's really cool.
It's another interesting thing that we decided to try out with the side paths. As you can see, it's very labyrinthian and all the routes connect more with each other than they are just, you know, sprawling out into their own directions.
I like it. It's I noticed that if you run over lava, you know, you're on fire. Is there like, I haven't tried this, but if you're on fire, can you like reduce the duration or like extinguish it by dodging?
No.
Okay.
But you can use water to extinguish it immediately, if there is water.
Yeah, if a big if.
It's not present on too many of the levels, unfortunately. There used to be a huge river in Pumpkin Pastures, but we have since removed that.
It's got to be a secret behind a waterfall somewhere in this game. I know it.
Let me think.
Gotta have that.
Well, I'm gonna let go and find out.
Oh, well, nice. Yeah, well, I will definitely keep playing this off stream as well. That's for sure. Yeah, I'm gonna call it a day soon, I think.
That's cool. You've been streaming for a while now, right?
What? What did you say? Sorry.
You've been for a while now, right?
You
Start-
mean?
You started at 4, didn't you?
Yeah, roughly after 4. Yeah. I tend to do at most. Depends on the game. If I really like the game, it's like it can be up to 4 hours, which is crazy. But normally I do like 2.5 hours. So
It's reasonable.
yeah, it depends really. Yesterday I played Scarface, which is a stark contrast to this game, but that's really fun.
Related.
Let's see, I'm going that way. Okay. I can feel like how my character is getting stronger and stronger. And I like going fast, so I'm gonna abuse this artifact quite a bit, I think.
I think my regular loadout is basically the boots of speed, fireworks arrow, and something called the harvester that you have not encountered yet, I believe.
Oh, harvester. Right. Yeah, that sounds good. Oh. Speaking of, sorry, in chat, one shot in previous talk about WoW, have you seen the exploit? Yeah, I've seen that exploit. They found a way to one shot one of the current raid tier bosses. That's intended. So. It was quite something. No, that's a guy. It's actually a Swedish guy, I believe, who plays a paladin, and he's been going ham in the current retail WoW, which is pretty funny to watch. It's very unintended mechanics that are very fun to watch. Do you guys run into like any unintended things with this game and then realize this is really cool, we should add this, like, as a thing? Did that ever happen?
Nothing that springs to mind immediately, but I feel like there should be something that I'm just not recalling at the moment.
Yeah, I love when that happens. Like so this quirky thing that happens, and it's like, oh, that's actually cool. Just add that.
I don't know if you have ever played one of the Tribes games.
I have, yeah.
There's in that game, for those that are not aware, basically, on the ground you have a button that turns off friction completely, and you gather momentum along slopes, and then have a jetpack to keep that momentum up hills. It's super fun.
Yeah.
But from what I hear, that zero momentum thing was apparently a bug that was not intended initially, and that single bug spawned an entire franchise.
That's really cool.
Surprised me if bunny hopping in Quake was the same thing, or strafe jumping.
Not sure about rockets though. I don't know, but it's also fun.
Wouldn't be surprised if that was intended, actually. There's a lot of weird quirks in those early games that they thought about.
So, oh, this looks like a boss fight. Yeah.
No, not sure why you'd think that.
No, big arena. Oh, my wolf died. Well done. Oh shit, that's a big boy.
Big boy.
Oh, I didn't move. What the? Whoa, whoa! Hang on. Red blocks attacking. Oh, this is lava. That's fine. That could also be water. Okay.
But it's not. It's liquid though.
Yeah, true. This is fine. Ah, there we go.
Yeah, you got it.
That hurts.
Oh wow, you get a lot of damage with your bow still.
Oh, I need my machine. Oh god, this just keeps going. Oh.
Yeah, well, if there's multiple players who can actually distract them, then that would probably work out.
Right. Oh shit, wrong way. That's fine. I would like I'm a huge fan of doing like dungeons. It's actually called in like basically PvE content in like games like World of Warcraft and MMOs with other people. So like, are there any ideas, or have you guys ever talked about adding like shorter like dungeons with like more bosses, maybe more than like one like this, or arenas maybe? This is fine.
Would be talked about. I mean, more arenas, dungeons, etc., etc. It's definitely been talked about.
Okay.
I can't really tell you what comes to line. We plan to keep this game alive. But as for the content that's going to come out, well, obviously there's the DLC that's leaked, but beyond that, I can't really talk much about it.
Yeah. But there's so much potential with this game, man. I really like that. So much cool stuff you can do.
And the thing also though is they're really interesting, but I think they take a lot of time to actually create balance. We had so many balance issues with this guy right here, for example.
Yeah, this guy's rough.
Yeah, I mean, initially it was just about wailing at him, and we didn't even have these redstone core pillars here. You know, wailing at him eventually just got kind of boring, so we decided that we needed to add some other kind of feature to it. And since we introduced the redstone cores, then I might as well do something else with them. We add them to the boss arena as well. And I think that was a good decision ultimately, but yeah.
Yeah, that's like a classic level design trick that I like as well, where you introduce some sort of new mechanic before the real deal.
Sometimes can be tricky though. That's something that I feel is very difficult to balance in general when it comes to level design. Just how do you teach a player something and make sure that you don't overdo it or underdo it?
Yeah, I can imagine there's a lot of playtesting going on. Nice. Yeah, I can't wait to try this co-op as well. Does the game, like, I don't know if you know this, but does the game like scale it depending on players, or is it like the actual difficulty, like
the number of mobs and their strengths will be balanced depending on how many players there are present.
Okay. Along with the difficulty.
Yeah. I watched a stream earlier today where there was 4 people playing, and there were a lot more mobs present here than.
Yeah, I mean you gotta have something to do, right? Stuff to kill.
Fiery Forge is destroyed.
That's very cool. Yeah, Fiery Forge. I like this one. I mean, the theme is really cool. I mean, the pillars is a cool mechanic as well. That is. Yeah, definitely the hardest boss so far. It's rough, but it's also fun. You know, it's a fun challenge. So. Oh yeah, gotta open it.
How did you like the Cauldron boss in the swamp level?
Oh, the Cauldron boss. For me, I mean, I like the boss, but it was like, for me, it was like I can't deal with this guy unless I have like more damage or more AoE, and since I don't have that, I'll use my bow. It's like stay far away and use the bow. That was pretty much it. Yeah.
He's a bit of a troublemaker, I feel.
Yeah, it's.
I think that's one of the hardest bosses in the game.
Yeah, I mean, I expect that one to be really hard later on. Hard difficulties for sure.
Oh, oof. his health scales quite a bit, so
Oh.
have fun.
Yeah, well, hopefully I'll better gear then. Who knows? Oh, so there's a new guy here in the hub, Wandering Trader. Does he randomly show up?
Shows up after a couple of levels.
Oh, okay, cool.
Recall the amount you have to beat them.
So now getting new artifacts. Flaming Quiver. Totem Region. What was that artifact called, you said? Harvester? Is that
Yes.
it? See if we can find that one.
Look, a book with souls.
Oh. I'm spending a lot of stuff here. Ooh, shock powder. Stunge. Okay. I got a new weapon as well. Two-hand hammer thing. Fires lightning bolts. Splash damage. I always like trying new weapons, and I mean... Yeah, I have to replace my stuff. Lifesteal is nice. Damage. Longer roll cooldown. I don't like that. Oh, it's really fun. Yeah, I mean, it's... Can I? Oh yeah, I can. I like that. You can like force attack.
Yeah. You press
So-
shift, you can attack on the spot.
That looks cool. I like how... Yeah, I can play this for way too long. That's a good thing. Or it depends. Well, I was thinking, oh yeah, I really like how everything is readable in this game. I like that. It's really nice. Except for those, like, the few things like I ran into the fences, like minor things that like block my movement because my focus is somewhere else. So that's like, that applies.
Yeah.
But it's
Sometimes if you keep the map open, you don't see fences because they're covered by bushes and stuff. And so you tend to stuck into them because of that.
Yeah, I like the everything's really clear. It's easy to see what you have and what things are, and the cursor and everything. It's really nice. So, I wonder if this hub...
We had a tiny cursor previously, and you constantly lost it in the game. So it's nice to have a big, really big one that's always present.
I wonder how many stacks can I get of this? I wonder. Oh, I'm wasting my arrows. Never mind.
You
Let's
can
not do
get
that.
quite a...
I don't think I only have one. Yeah, I only have 1 point, so no. That sounds pretty fun. Nice. Well, I think I'm gonna call it a day. I really like the game, man. It's really fun. And yeah, I appreciate you taking time. I had a lot of questions regarding everything. Mostly level design things. Cause, I do the same thing. So it's just interesting to see how you solve it, and how you do things. So that's really cool. So I can't wait to see the new stuff for this. I'm gonna. It's nice. I actually didn't know that the stuff has leaked, the DLC stuff. So now I know I can stay away from that. So I don't actually see what it is.
I'm not gonna spoil that for you.
No, I know you're not. But now I know that it's out there. I'm gonna avoid it for sure. So it's gonna be fun to see what that is. I want to be surprised, like those random bosses that show up. Like Enderman was really scary when he showed up. That was the first one I got. I was like, whoa. That's spooky. Cool. But yeah.
Depends a little bit on which level you play and what difficulty. I think. I mean, we have first off we have the different threat levels on the slider when you select the mission. But you can also change the general difficulty once you've beaten the game, down in the right corner.
Oh yeah, this thing. Yeah, that's nice.
Unlocks once you've beaten the game on default difficulty, and the harder you play, the more enchanted mobs will show up, but also more special mobs. For example, I think. No, I'm not gonna spoil it for you, but some really powerful mobs show up even in Creeper Woods.
Spicy stuff coming up. Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely playing through this whole game on all these difficulties, I think. So I guess that is my My power's 19. Oh, I see. Okay, that's really cool. So, can you see? Right. So I can see all the stuff here. Desert Temple stuff over here. Coming soon. Island Realms.
What could
Island,
that be?
Island map and 2 brand new adventures for purchase. I bought the Hero Edition, so it's fine.
So you'll get access to the DLC once it's actually launched, but
Cool.
it's not out yet.
Yeah. No, I mean that's fine. I have plenty of stuff to do in this game. So far. But yeah, I mean I haven't played all the areas yet, but I like how different all the areas are. That's really cool. I don't know which one I'm not sure which one is my favorite. I'm just a huge fan of Redstone. I don't know what, but yeah, it really stands out. And then like the environmental hazards is really cool as well.
It's very dark, but still has all these very bright spots. There's a lot of contrast in that level, and it's very tight and all the hazards, like you say.
But also like Fire Forged I just played. I mean, it's like snowy, but it's also like dark inside the mountain, and there's lava, and yeah, death apparently. Nasty but fun. So, it's a nice challenge. I like it. So hopefully I'm gonna check if any of my friends have this game. See if we could play some co-op.
Yeah, I heavily recommend. I think it's great with the 2 or 3 people. 4 also, but I think for me 3 people is probably the sweet spot.
Oh, so well, you can play 4? Or,
oh yeah.
Okay, 4. So 4 is the max, where you can play total.
I think I kind of lost track of what I was talking about earlier. Basically, if you play online, then well, you can run as far as you want from each other. But when you play couch co-op or local co-op, everyone is limited to a single screen. There's no split screen.
Oh yeah.
And which basically, you can't get too far from each other, then you just stop in your tracks. So you have to stick together more. And I think that really works well with the gameplay experience, as in you cooperate a lot more instead of running around on your own. That was definitely one of the more difficult tasks to solve.
Interesting. Yeah, let's you want to make sure people stay together. Sure. You can also teleport. I saw, which I guess teleports you to the player that's furthest along or something.
The teleportation thing and the revive system is something that was directly developed in order to force players to stay close together.
Yeah, when I watch people play, co-op, it's an interesting, like, the whole death revive mechanic is interesting. It's like it really puts pressure on everyone else. And to work together, which is, we'll see. It can go wrong really quickly for one thing. It can go, because they only have like 30 seconds, I guess. So that's like nothing really.
And I don't exactly remember the numbers, but a few seconds after someone's gone down, mobs will start to spawn in the environment. And I mean, you can still play around and live after the things have passed, but after that, phantoms will start to attack players and slowly drain your health until you either die or revive the last player. So it's very punishing.
Yeah, it sounds brutal, but it sounds also nice, I guess. In a way.
It becomes very hectic, very stressful in those situations when people constantly go down. You have to sort of prioritize to reset the cooldown above anything else sometimes.
I was about to ask if there was a reward for doing that, but I realized the reward is you don't fail the mission.
Yeah, you don't die.
Yeah, you don't have to start over. So yeah, okay. So one more thing. if you do like fail a mission, do you still keep the stuff you found, like up to that point?
Stuff you find, but you have to restart the mission from the beginning, and you don't get the mission reward.
Oh, okay.
So when you finish a mission, you should get an artifact, but you don't get that if you fail it. So if you want that artifact, you have to restart it and finish it.
Okay.
It's not very punishing, but you lose some progress.
So this hub is, I like it. There's even like dummies, damage dummies. That's really cool. I like it. I can't wait to see what else. Ooh, hello. Lobby chest. Oh, nice. Well, I think I'm gonna call it a day. I'm gonna have a break, and I'm gonna keep playing this. Feel like I need a break to keep playing. It's a lot of fun though. So yeah, thanks for joining me. I really appreciate it. It's I had a lot of questions, chat had a lot of questions, so yeah, it's nice.
You know how to reach me, so if you have anything else, just let me.
Yeah, I bet I'll come up with something. I think it's very interesting. So yeah, I'll see you, and I'll see everyone else next time, which is tomorrow. I'm gonna stream again because yeah, I'm gonna keep playing this. So I don't know, maybe I'm level 60 tomorrow. Very unlikely, but it's yeah, I'm definitely playing this. So, yeah.
I'll watch.
Yeah, cool. Well, I'll see everyone. I'll see you, and I'll see you, the rest of you in chat tomorrow. So thanks again.
Take care.